What is up, Todd?
Man, it's a great night tonight. How about it, brother? How are you down in
I'm good, man. I am. I didn't expect to be on this week.
I know you did.
Honest with you, I didn't think that was happening.
But you know, Goose Island throws us a curve.
People pull you in, right? So
yeah.
So this is really fun. So, you know, when we got the email that Goose Island says, "Hey, they're coming out today, and we're gonna give you the press release on all the new variants," Todd and I were like, "Yeah, we got to do this. We got to do this tonight." So we're excited. So stream looks a little bit different tonight, but this is right in our wheelhouse. And already people are excited about the releases. Look, we got a rock on from Ocean's World already about that toasted barrel, which I know he's absolutely
do it all.
So we're gonna go through each one of these tonight, which we just cannot wait for. But yeah, we'll start off properly with a little rock on for you. Thank you. So, hey, yeah, tonight is all about the booze, man.
All about booze. Well, about BCS, right? I mean, every year around Thanksgiving, it's a special time, not only because of Thanksgiving, because of BCS. And so in August, they traditionally release their variants, and I think it's exciting. We've never really done a video kind of going in depth, looking at each one and getting an early look and identifying which ones we're excited about. So if you're in the chat now, let us know as we go through these which ones you're excited about. If you're watching this in replay, comment below and let us know which ones we will be chatting away after this live stream is over to see what people are excited about. Because, you know, while you're excited about all of them, certainly certain ones rise to the top. And I've already got in my head some ones that I know that I'm excited about. So
and it's funny because, you know, we'll go through them. And I can't wait to banter with everybody back and forth, not just tonight live, but then when this is up for replay, like continue to throw your comments out there because we can't wait to see what's happening. This is going to be really good.
It's going to be great. So
some of them have got me completely intrigued. Some of them I'm like, how is that going to work? You know, AKA London Fog from last year, right?
Right.
And some of them I'm like, you're just going straight barrel this year because we you know what? Let's start off with that, Todd.
Let's do
some notable omissions that we were expecting to see that did not make the 2021 lineup. So off the bat, I'm thinking after 3 years of just almost getting better, the wheat wine does not come back this year. That was the first notable omission to me.
It's been 3 years?
3 years. So remember, it started off in 2018. They had the original wheat wine. Then in 2019, they put it in larceny barrels.
Yeah.
And then last year, of course, they made like the larceny barrels with the apple pie type thing, which was just amazing, right?
Amazing. It's probably my favorite variant of last year. I mean, there was a lot of great variants last year. I mean, last year was amazing.
Last year was
I love that. I love that apple pie. So, yeah, wheat wine. And,
no wheat wine.
You know, that was something. What's the other one you were surprised about?
I was hoping for a. I was really hoping for a coffee or vanilla to come through there.
Well, the vanilla hasn't been around for a while, but that coffee, I thought for sure would come back.
I was hoping that a coffee might make its way through, and it didn't.
It didn't.
You know,
so it's all good.
But like one thing, look, every Tuesday when we go live, one of the things it seems inevitable is someone pulls out a BCS and says, I just can't, you know, I can't wait to try this, or they try it with us, or we've given some away. We'll be doing that again later.
Yes.
That's good. Nice. So tonight, if you're wondering what some of the super chats, it's going to be for, we're going to be giving away a little bit of a.
So yeah, every super chat gets an entry into a 2019 Cafe de Olio and a 21090
pint glass
of your choice. It can be any of our logos. Mm-hmm. So there
and
you go.
We may just maybe we'll do another Jack 21090 shirt. We'll see. We might throw that in there too. We'll see. So,
there you go. Oh, you're getting awful.
Well, look, this gets me excited. November. We spend pretty much all of November in front of a camera, and in front of an editing board, like just trying to get stuff done because it's not even double or triple. Like I don't know how high up we get, but the number of videos we put out in November is almost like what we put out for like 4 or 5 months straight.
That's true. Well, there's all the barrel aged beers that are coming out. So yeah, I've got my mom watching, my in-laws, and Sandy from Deep Creek Lake. So welcome. We're going to go over each and every one of the BCS. I know my brother-in-law is extremely excited to hear about these variants. But Andy, where does it all start? We talked about this last year. It's the base, right? The base variant.
It's the base. So tonight we're gonna be talking about the Bourbon County Stouts. And here's a sneak peek at tonight's lineup. If you got really good eyes, you can hone in and see them. But we're gonna go through each one of them.
Right.
But this year really seems very much focused again, like 2019 was, on the barrel.
Yes.
We remember 2017 and 18, man, they had fun with some of the brambles and the vanillas, and the coffees were great. And 2019 was like that devotion to the barrel. And I remember some of those beautiful, like the one that was in the 150th or the 25-year Knob Creek anniversary. And all like some of those were just gorgeous pours.
Core. Yeah. And that's the thing. So we're going to go through it. But again, the base stout, let's talk about that real quick. I think that's something, Andy, that we want to, we mentioned it last year. If the base off the bat is top notch, and last year was one of the best bases in a long time, it usually foretells the rest of the variants being exceptional. And that was the case last year. And I really hope when we crack open that first one. It certainly
was. Yeah. I think, and I think probably one of the better bases that we've seen in a while.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. I mean,
let's talk about it, Todd. Yeah. So if you want to talk about that, go ahead and just here's the base.
So there it is. There it is, 2021. Now this is straight from Bourbon County. Their goal each and every year is to uphold the integrity of Greg Hall's recipe and make the best Bourbon County Stout possible. And this year is no exception. Let's hope, right? Our rich Imperial Stout is blended from a mix of bourbon barrels from distilleries such as Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey, and Buffalo Trace. We've heard those three before. Each aged in freshly emptied bourbon barrels for 8 to 14 months. So that's good. It's over a year in some cases. Expect flavors of chocolate, vanilla, oak, whiskey, molasses, followed by caramel, berry fruit, and almond. So here's the important thing. The last, I think it's now 3 years, the base has been in those Heaven Hill, Buffalo Trace, and Wild Turkey barrels.
Yeah, and last year, I think they got it right. Like last year was really,
the mix
really,
was great.
It was
fantastic.
It was out of the gates. It didn't have to wait and sit. We found that. Remember, we found like the 2-3 year sweet spot for these bases because they aged well.
Speaking
last year out of the gates was fantastic.
There's an 18.
I'll pull that up on you right there. The 18,
we're making me thirsty. There's the 18 now.
18's gorgeous, man. That's a good pour.
It is. So in our Bourbon County glass, let's get a pour on that. I haven't had this one in a while. So this now is 3 years old. Again, I believe I don't know if 18 was in these three same barrels or not. Maybe the chat can let us know, the people who are really into Bourbon County Stout like we are. Yeah. I know 19 and 20 were in those three barrels. Yep, there's the 18. Were. The base. Yeah. Listen, there's a reason why people flock really to this. Good. It's so fudgy. That is, I mean, they improve over time. 18 was a phenomenal year. It's so
really,
good.
Really
God,
well.
that gets you excited. Get you so excited.
It does. It's funny. Yeah. Elizabeth had a question too. Like the trends now, like sweet drinks, like coffee flavored, they do really, really well in stouts because the flavors tend to match. Like you don't see them much in ales, but when you get a nice stout or a porter, these flavors like the coffee or the vanilla or the chocolate, they really, really play well. So it's worth trying, honestly. Even for some of you who haven't tried the BCSs yet, it's worth going out and trying to pick one up. They're none of them are bad. Some of them are just fantastic, though. It's
I
awesome.
Agree. It depends on your palate, and I think Mike Williams makes a point here. Yeah, we were also. I can't believe they didn't have a coffee stout variant, and that's it is what it is. Let's hope that the variants we're about to go into make us forget that there's not a coffee stout here. So
I was disappointed too. I know because I thought that the coffee was just. Although the last time that they did a coffee, I was a little bit disappointed. Outside of the Cafe de Olio.
Yes.
But the brandy wine was not very good because there wasn't enough coffee. So I do hope they eventually bring that back, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you. Look at fine wine. Thank you for that super chat. And look at this lineup almost feels like a return to basics. Stouts and bourbon, omitting a lot of the experimentation.
We were talking about that because, with the exception of one that's a complete wild card that I can't wait to go over that one. This really does feel like they're going to the basics. So All right, so next up is
Yeah.
going to be one that I think is going to be probably one of the more accessible
I
of
agree.
all of the Bourbon County Stouts this year. This is
Yep.
the one in the Cherrywood Stout.
So we didn't
ahead, Todd, if
mention
you want to talk about this.
the base is 14.4% this year.
Yep.
This Cherrywood is 14.3, and they mentioned at the heart of each Bourbon County are the wood characteristics we thoughtfully amplify. And I think there's Fine Spirits Appreciation talking about that. This year we took the wood complexities to another level by doing something we've never done before. We took fully matured Bourbon County Stout and finished it with toasted fruit wood, specifically honeycomb-shaped cherry wood chips. The versatility of the cherry wood and honeycomb shape allowed for maximum flavor extraction, revealing complex characters like red fruit, ripe cherry, and light toffee, which are not found in the original oak barrel itself. The result is an amazing elevation of the notable difference from the original Bourbon County Stout. Now, this is where I think it's interesting. I got to tell you, this isn't I'm not excited about this one. I read this, though, and I'm thinking,
I am.
Well, let's see how different it is from the base.
I really am, because I think that, so first of all, one of the reasons I'm excited about this is not spotlighting a particular bourbon or rye.
Mm-hmm.
This one is spotlighting the adjuncts that they're trying to put to the Bourbon County. And sometimes those are hit and miss. But
this is just wood.
They're
it's
fantastic.
cherry wood. It's honeycomb cherry wood.
They're playing with the base. They're not worried about pulling in a particular bourbon.
No.
Which I kind of like. And sometimes they're actually they can be fantastic. This is intriguing to me. And I think
so the
Monterey and the Cafe Delo from last year, these are going to be, this is one of the probably two that's going to be the most accessible.
I agree with that.
I'm hoping it's good, because if it's good, people can get their hands on it. So the pressure is on that this thing just tastes good, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I'm wondering how much. I'm really interested to see how much of a toasted cherry wood in a honeycomb sort of fashion is going to impart to the Bourbon County Stout. We're not talking about barrels here. They're basically adding this to, I assume, a secondary,
right?
Which is they're putting this in.
So every, was it about 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago, you get all the possibilities that are going to be coming out for Bourbon County Stout. Some sound outlandish, and we're like, that could never be true, and sometimes they are. They experiment, and if it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. That's what I like about this. Like they have all of their brewers get to have a crack at doing something that's going to maybe crack the lineup. So if it makes it, there has to be enough people that thought this thing was good. We do
have the Chris Gabbett, that one of their innovation managers, mentioned how they've worked on this for many years and finally got the flavor profile right. He has to say this is one of his favorite variants he's ever had.
See, that's
not only because it's delicious, because all the creativity that went into this development, using the various fruit wood, and then the cherry wood sounds fire, right?
See, Josh was all about
Josh is all about.
That thing sounds money, and to be honest with you, I think it sounds pretty good too. I'm not going to lie to you. That is exciting to me. So I kind of want to see.
Right, you're changing me. Maybe I was wrong.
Well, look, I told you last year London Fog wasn't doing it for me. That was the only one that
didn't do it for me either. Right.
But it was still cool. I wanted to try it. It was the one that I was most intrigued by. This is one of the top two I'm probably the most intrigued by. So, Groovy's he's interested in that too. I think this is going to be a cool one. So,
all right, so let's go. You ready for the next one?
So here's our next one, my friend. And this one, I think I really let me get that
very excited
top
about
out there.
Yeah.
But
can you do that?
This I'm excited about, my friend.
So we're moving on. There you go. Tee it up, Andy.
Yep. So this is the 150, and look. Drink the bourbon the beer if you can find it, because you're going to have a hard time finding the bourbon. This is one last year we said the same thing. Old Forrestor, the 150th anniversary bourbon, not easy to find. So Todd, take it away, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is exactly. It's 15.6%. So we've upped our ABV. This is a big boy here. So our Bourbon County Stout Reserve 150 is aged for 1 year in Old Forrestor 150th anniversary bourbon barrels. Yum is all I have to say. So to celebrate the anniversary, Old Forrestor handpicked 150 barrels from its resting places within Old Forrestor barrelhouses to create 3 unique batches honoring the founder George Garvin Brown and his process for batching these from 3 original distilleries. So these are handpicked limited edition barrels combined with our Imperial Stout to create a once in a lifetime collaboration. Bourbon and beer fans alike will appreciate and cherish. I mean,
think about this.
Here's the flavors: notes of chocolate, vanilla, coconut, with molasses, almond, berry, and oak. This one I think is going to be very, very hard to get.
Let me tell you something. It's a gorgeous bourbon. Number one.
Yes.
Number two, they have a barrel house, and they literally said, okay, you know what, Goose Island, you guys want to grab these 150 barrels? Here you go. Let's do something special. I cannot wait for this to come out. I am praying we get our hands on this puppy early.
We had this one last year, right? Here's the Old Forrestor Birthday, and this was it was my favorite beer of last year. Any beer.
Well, actually, we said probably that we've had in the past 4 or 5 years for releases like this. This may have been
amazing, absolutely amazing.
Perfection.
Yes,
this was really good.
Can it be topped with the Old Forrestor 150? I hope so, because I think
Dickie Dad just said, Justin said the same thing. It's going to be really hard to find this one. I think it's going to be one of the unicorn BCSs, but man,
let's start hunting, Andy. We're going to hunt. Listen, our job is to bring it to you guys.
Oh, you better believe we're going to try and find this pup. We'll get it.
Josh, I 100% agree.
The birthday was fantastic. We thought the anniversary was solid until the birthday came along. We're like, holy hell, this is even better. So
we had the Weller anniversary. We're like, this is amazing. And then we tried the birthday, and we're like, well, the Weller wasn't as good, but it's amazing.
No, it just wasn't. But this, let me tell you something. This one I cannot wait for. A killer bourbon.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're talking about a really. I cannot. This thing screams, go find it, because it's going to be a hard one to find. Man, this is going to be exciting. So one of the top ones I'm looking forward to.
And I know Old Forrestor is extremely, they've actually already put out on their social media this variant, and I think they're really excited about it too, because it showcases, of course, their amazing 150. And I can't wait to see how these two blend. To me, this is my second one. This isn't my first, but this is I don't want to give it away, but this is my number 2, if I had to say. So I'm most excited about this one almost. There's one other one I'm more excited about. So I think it's great.
Get out there on Black Friday, see if you can score this one, because this is going to be amazing. Marty's here, and I'll tell you, he knows about the 150 bourbon. He knows.
Yes, he does. He does. He might even have that 150 bourbon.
If he does, you're going to have to show us the love. So, all right, Todd. So we're getting ready to head into the next one. That again, another one that I'm really excited about.
Oh, tell me about it.
So this is the double barrel toasted barrel.
Say that 10 times fast.
Double barrel toasted barrel. First of all, this is a big boy at 16%. But now just listen to this description, or I'll do my best Morgan Freeman. But okay, this thing is aged for 1 year in Elijah Craig small batch, which is awesome in and of itself. But then another year in Elijah Craig toasted bourbon barrels. If you have not had the Elijah Craig toasted bourbon barrel, go out and get that bourbon. It is just dynamite.
Here we go.
One of the best and most affordable bourbons that you can find. You can fool people and tell them it's a $100 bourbon, they'll believe it. So these toasted barrels are built to the same specifications as normal bourbon barrels, but are more heavily toasted and very lightly charred, which is nice. So not only does this stout embody distinctive elements from Elijah Craig small batch, like the spice and the vanilla, it also deepens the intensity during its second year of aging. The result, ? A Bourbon County Stout unlike any before. Flavors of chocolate, caramel, vanilla, toasted marshmallows, fruit, oak. This thing is going to be a beast of a. And let me tell you, the last time we had one aged for 2 years, Todd,
it was fantastic.
Chocolate bomb too,
chocolate bomb, fudgy chocolate bomb,
big, bold in your face.
Listen,
this is probably the one I may be the most excited to try this year. Even though I know that 150 is good, this one I cannot wait to try.
I can't wait. This is my number 1 for 2 reasons. It's double barreled, so a year in each of the Elijah Craig, which is great as well. And then one of my favorite bourbons right now to drink is the Elijah Craig toasted barrel. I cannot wait to get those marshmallow.
Ruby, Shane, you guys would. I'm telling you guys, if
Jimmy,
you find it, pick
Phil,
it up. You guys are gonna love it.
Marty, I know he loves it.
It's going to be amazing.
I can't wait to taste this, and I hope it doesn't let me down, because I love the whiskey so much, and I love Bourbon County. Putting them together for 2 years.
And Todd, this you make a good point, because here's the thing: the one thing that we remember when the 25-year was aged twice, right? It was 2 years. And all those big, bold chocolate flavors really dominated. It was almost like this chocolate bomb. I'm hoping that the year in the toasted barrel doesn't overload those chocolate flavors, and we get some more of those like toasted notes that we really love.
We'll
Because
see.
that's
a
where
good
the
point.
kicker is going to come in.
That is a very good point.
What that second year of age, you have to realize 2 years in a barrel for a beer is a long time.
16% ABV. This is the highest alcohol.
It's a big boy, man. It's a big boy. So, it's a sipper, but it's a good one, man. Oh, I can't wait for this one. So
Justin says this will be another Illinois and Kentucky state only. Is that true? I hope not. Boy, I hope not. And we're gonna have to find this on the secondary, which it is what it is. But I hope
we'll
not.
see what we get from Goose Island if they send.
I would Goose Island, if you're watching, we would love this one, please.
We usually get most of them, except for a handful, maybe like the Proprietor and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what comes our way. See how much we're loved. But I can't wait. I tell you,
well,
this is
road trip
great.
time is right.
Thank you, Marty. Yep, if you guys can hit that thumbs up and share it out. This is a fun one tonight. If you can't tell, we love this. We absolutely love the BCS. Everything about it kind of helps our launching pad.
We're only what
fans.
3 or 4 in. We're not even halfway there yet.
No, this is like,
and I'm already salivating and drinking this. Guys, listen.
I'm at the beach drinking an IPA. I'm like, damn it, I wanted a BCS. I didn't bring it. I had no idea.
We didn't know. So, honestly, we did not know this was coming out today. It just happened.
I wasn't even supposed to be on today, but when I heard about this, I said, I got to get on and do this. So
there you go. All right. Well, Andy, what do we have next?
God, here's one I can't wait for you to actually try. This is going to be fun. So let me move forward.
Yeah, I think we're on to the Blantons, which is the interesting dynamic here. I don't remember Bourbon County Stout ever being put in. Maybe I'm wrong,
this
though.
Is the Reserve Blanton Stout. I don't know if they've done it before.
Yeah.
But this will be another interesting.
So, Andy, everybody out there that may not know, Blanton's is the bourbon with the horse on the top, right? I mean, it's highly allocated.
It looks like a grenade, and they have a horse on top, and it is what it used to be outside of Pappy, like what everybody had, right?
Mm-hmm.
But had to get, but it's a dynamite pour.
Well, let me read you a little bit about it, Andy. So they partnered with Blanton and aged their Imperial Stout for 18 months. So that's actually interesting here. It's 18 months.
Long one.
So we're going to expect those fudgy flavors there from one of the world's most sought-after bourbons, Blanton's Original Single Barrel Bourbon. Taken from the center cut or middle sections of the famous Warehouse H, Blanton's Original Single Barrel was only available for ambassadors, dignitaries, and friends of the Blanton family. Oh boy, how hoity-toity that is, huh? But now it's available for everyone to enjoy. Just as we set the standard for barrel-aged stouts, Blanton's sets the standard for single barrel bourbons. Through our partnership, we've created a truly unique reserve filled with rich, dark chocolate, oak notes, finished with warm aromatics of baking spices such as clove, nutmeg, and cinnamon. And I will say, Andy, again, it's the barrel that's doing the talking here. So how will this be different than the Old Forrestor, right?
It'll be
the Elijah Craig.
Well, look, the Weller and the Birthday from last year were so incredibly different too.
Right.
That I think that we were surprised by that. So
right.
So it should be good. It really should. But I think what another thing is going to be notable is the ones that are in the barrel for a year are vastly different than the ones that are in there for 2 years.
And this is 18 months.
So this is 18 months.
Right
so they're in the middle. I'll be interested to see what kind of flavors that imparts as well. So I think that's kind of a cool thing too. So we'll see what happens. So again, you have the luck of the hunt if you can find it. But
the luck of the hunt. We certainly would be out there, and that's the part of the fun of it. So Andy, the next one is one that I am most intrigued.
So this is your most intrigued. All right, hold on.
No. Well, it's not what I'm most intrigued about.
I thought
it's not my favorite. I don't think, but it's my most intrigued.
We don't know that yet. We got to give this one a chance. If you guys are ready for the most interesting of the lot so far, this is it. So Todd, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
The classic Cola Stout.
What is this about? 14.1%. You want to read this one off, or you want me to?
Sure. So all right. So here, as they say, pushing the boundaries of the barrel-aged stouts is in our DNA. But anyway, this is their first cola-inspired variant. And
cola, right? Polarizing is right.
Brewers Paul Cade and Jason Krasowski bonded over their love of their classic cola while creating the Cola Stout, combining the refreshing nature of classic cola and picking up the flavor profile from a whiskey cola. Now, here's where it gets funky. We added lime and orange juice and zest, plus coriander, plus cassia bark, plus nutmeg, brown sugar, and vanilla to bring out the complex characteristics of this classic drink. So we're talking about the whiskey cola drink at this point. This is the ultimate twist on the whiskey cola and a must-try for Bourbon County Stouts. So at first I was thinking, all right, a cola flavored, BCS, kind of crazy. We'll see how it sounds. This is more of a take on a drink. And the more that I saw all those flavors come together, I was like, this thing is either going to be the bomb of the lot, or it's going to tank. But Shane's like, this is going to be delicious, guaranteed. This might be a beast. This is going to be a make or break, to be honest with you.
So they say, Paul and Jason, the brewers who actually brewed this beer, said their biggest challenge was basically using original sort of, and I'll read the actual thing. Cola is such a familiar flavor, right? Our biggest challenge was getting all the ingredients to taste like cola. They're not putting cola in this, guys. They're trying to use actual natural ingredients to basically mimic the cola flavor. So they're pulling that 9 individual things. Yeah. 9. In the end, the BCS variant has all the depth and complexity that you might expect from blending 9 ingredients into a beautiful BCS base, while surprisingly being as refreshing as your favorite cola brand. We hope you enjoyed drinking it as much as we enjoyed making it.
And the chat's already saying this either going to be either going to be a bust or it's going to be the one of the lot. I
agree.
Justin said this is number 1. Shane said
I can
can't wait to try this.
I'm intrigued, but I have a hard time.
Heck yeah, this sounds great. This is London Fog 2.0. This is either going to be like
said that. Yes,
it's going to win or it's going to lose. It's going to be and it's funny. Everybody ranks them, and undoubtedly last year London Fog was either at the top of everybody's list or the bottom. So people are going to love or hate this one. But I would say outside of, I think outside
Ryan brings up a very good point. It's this year's maybe Cafe de Olio.
Maybe because we didn't love the Moncherie last year.
Super chats get entered into a Cafe de Olio. You can win this tonight.
But Jimmy. People are excited for the don't worry, they're coming. They're coming. So I think this is going to be also accessible. So like the Cherrywood, I think this one's going to be accessible. Yes. This is what's going to be when everyone can get their hands on this.
14.1%, so that one of the lowest ABVs. I don't know what's attributing to that, but it is what it is.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Todd. I'm stoked to try this. If nothing else, this is gonna be interesting, And
Joshua, I agree with you 100%. If you saw our videos, it was the one we were we were just like, it didn't work for us. It's hard for us to say, but it didn't.
Not. But it didn't work. So Phil says, hey, look. I like my beer, but I don't want it to taste like soda. You know what? I never thought I'd want orange or like the bramble or whatever, but somehow they make these things work.
You got to try it first. So, and that's what we'll do. We'll try it. I think this will be accessible. I think it'll be out there for everybody to try.
And so Fine Spirit says the same thing. He's like, hey, look, that was odd, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was unique. I just didn't know if the flavors played together as well as
I didn't like the tea, and I didn't taste it. It was weird. It just didn't work for me. It wasn't that it was bad. I drink it if it was in front of me. Believe me.
But some people loved it, and so those subtle hints were good. So this is a good point too, Todd. We think about last year. Yeah. Cafe de Olio was fantastic in our eyes because
loved it.
It was a coffee bomb, though, right? It hit you. You finally could taste and smell the coffee, right?
I don't know. I know it was an Italian coffee, right? Yeah, it was with cassia bark, orange peel, and panela sugar. Yeah, it was amazing.
Remember the Moncherie? We wanted to see. We wanted more of that cherry-like flavor to come forward. Like they were talking about, you're gonna taste the pie crust and the cherries and the allspice. I'm like, we're not getting that. We get these really faint, like. So if this soda thing pops through, and I'm feeling like I'm having a whiskey and Jack, like, hey. It may not be that bad, right? So
I guess not.
We'll see.
All right, Groovy, I got you in, buddy, for 5. Groovy's in for 5. Looks like people are wanting that.
Thank you, Joshua. Look, the Bramble was one of my all-time. Todd will tell you, I loved the Bramble.
I got it for your birthday. Have you opened it up yet?
Oh my goodness!
Why are you gonna open that sucker up? Huh?
I don't want to open it because I don't have enough to back
one here too. I've got one here.
It's not like a bourbon where you can just open up and pour and go back to. Like
it's gone.
Get rid of it.
It's gone. So, all right, we have 2 more to go through.
We do. Now these guys, the next ones are going to be tough to get, but let's jump in on them anyway. This one. Sure. So Todd, this is cool. If you're wondering why it's called 14, all right, it's basically because they're redoing their 2014 recipe for the proprietors. So it's almost like you're getting 2 proprietors this year. So for the first time, they're going back into their catalog, but they're putting a little twist on what was a fan favorite. We never had the 2014 Proprietor, but apparently it was dynamite. So this time, they're kind of going to pay homage to it by upping the rye in this to the mash bill of their recipe.
Exactly.
And then they're going to layer on cassia bark, cocoa nibs, vanilla sugar, coconut water, and it's supposed to have this really spicy and sweet like flavor profile that kind of goes back and forth on the palate. This sounds absolutely delicious. So I am hoping we can get lucky enough to score one of these, because this is a throwback to an already solid release.
They don't have an ABV on this yet, which is interesting. They're waiting the final bottling, so they have not even bottled this beer yet. They don't even know what the final ABV on this is going to be.
Going to be a big boy.
Has anyone in the chat had the 2014 Proprietor? We don't get that. I mean, that's a Chicago.
Well,
the Proprietor
it's
each year.
Chi-Town release.
Right.
Now this isn't a Proprietor. This is a take on.
No,
Proprietor.
this is a take. Right.
This may be released. The Proprietor's coming up next.
All right. So Ryan, let me ask you this. Ryan, he says greatest hits, need more of it. So Ryan, did you try the Bourbon County Stout Proprietor from 2014? And how was it? I would love to know, because we didn't get it. It was before, we were into getting like every one we can try to get. We've got some Proprietors now. And we'll probably get this, which we'll talk about next, the Proprietors on secondary from somebody in Chicago, but he has not. Dang it. All right. So no one's had it, but if you watch this in the replay, if you had the 14, please let us know what you thought of it back then, because I'd love to know how good it was. It must have been good for them to bring it back. That's the only thing I can see. Right? I mean, that's the only way.
I feel like this is going to be a winner. This is going to be another one of those.
And we are, guys. I am getting all your super chats, Eric. Everybody, I've got you written down.
We appreciate it. We're gonna, we do appreciate it, guys. We're flying through this list because we are so. If you can't tell, we're quite excited. So there's only one left, and so for those of you who are, BCS,
Josh had it. Josh has had it.
And he
said it was insane. So they're adding rye to the mash bill. That's the only thing they're changing. That to me is a good thing. I think it's a good idea.
It means give that rye spice a little bit. Add a little bit. Spice to it, which is
so now that Josh said, it must have been good for them to bring it back. I mean, that was 7 years ago.
Yep.
So
and that 2014 sounds like you remember the vanilla rye too was one of those ones.
Oh wow, there you go. Both incredible.
Was it 2017? The rye was a big boy. And everybody was comparing that to the 2014, saying how good that was.
All right, cool. Very good. Thank you, Josh.
That is really cool. So, all right.
So, Josh, you're going to be hooking us up, and you can get us these Proprietor that we're going to talk about next, right? That we can't get here in Baltimore. So, Josh is our man. He's going to hook us up so we can spread the word of how great it is. Right, Josh? We'll hook him up.
You didn't know you've been recruited, Josh, but
he's now been recruited. All right, so Andy, our last one for the night.
Our last one of the night is going to be, now this is going to be cool too. So this year's Proprietor is...
I really want this so bad.
AKA the strawberry vanilla BCS. So this is basically a take on an ice cream treat, which is this just sounds so bloody good.
Yummy.
So
give me some.
Listen to this. Emily Cosmo, who she's had 2 entries this year. So apparently everybody gets their shot at putting some things together.
She did the Proprietor last year.
Yep. So she apparently is their guru at bringing desserts to life in these stouts. So this is her twist on, very simply, the classic strawberry ice cream bar. So that's where the vanilla, the coconut, and the strawberries come together. These elements come together to create a decadent shortcake layered with vanilla and topped off with slight fruitness of strawberries similar to the ice cream bar.
Are you kidding me?
That you can get out of the truck. I mean, this is really cool. So
come on.
She also was the one who did the 2016 and the 2020 Proprietor. So she's the first ever brewer to have 3 picks released. So apparently Emily knows her stuff. This one sounds just ridiculously good. Look at that. And apparently Josh knows that because he went to high school. Emily. That's cool.
Oh, that. All right, Josh, you need to get us into Goose Island. We need to go up there and do it.
Yes, tell her your friends at 21090 would like to go take a little tour.
Yes. We'd like to interview her, please.
That's really, really cool. But
what does the chat think of that? Yeah, again, Neapolitan BCS went. Yeah, exactly. Get out of here. This to me sounds amazing. Eileen says amazing. I think this one sounds absolutely fantastic. We've got to get our hands on it. Here's the problem, everybody out there in chat land. If you're not in the Chicago, Illinois area, you're not going to see this. It's a local and I actually like that they do this. So they stay local. Goose Island is nationwide, and BCS to me is the best barrel aged series that comes out each year, and they, for the most part, distribute nationwide. But the proprietor is always local. They stay true, and it kind of rewards their local fans, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it stinks for us, and we find ways to get it, like Josh is going to do for us.
It does, but let's be honest. This sounds amazing. This sounds like a rock star
there it is. New York fan, Rangers fan forever. I agree. It sounds awesome. Maybe they'll bring this back later on as a variant.
These flavors sound perfect, and the thing is, like from brewing too, strawberry is a difficult flavor to really pull forward, and now you got to cut that through a stout. So I'll be really interested to see how that plays into the BCS with the vanilla and with the coconut. Because boy, I tell you, these sound.
So can I tell you, Andy, then what I'm most intrigued about, and then you can do it for me as we're wrapping up here. So you guys, we've gone through all 8 of the BCS 2021. I think it sounds, it's fantastic. As we said in the beginning, very barrel forward for the first few, and then the last few are more sort of outside the box where they play with flavors. And great stuff. Hey, we will certainly be back in November. Ryan, stick around though. We're here every Tuesday night. We put out whiskey videos and beer reviews, so stick with us all year round. Anyway, my top 3. Now, I would say that proprietor, if it was available everywhere, that would be in it. But since it's not, I'm kind of excluding the proprietor and the base. So we really have 6 that we're talking about, right? We can't get the proprietor, and the base, of course, we want. My number 3, Andy, and I don't know if this agrees with you, is the Cola. I'm really intrigued by that. I don't know if I'll like it. It may be my least favorite when I drink it, sort of like the Kentucky Fog, but it's intrigued me because of what they're trying to do with the Cola flavor and every 9 ingredients they're putting into it. So that's number 3. Number 2, now we're going to the barrels. It's 150 Stout. We love whiskey. We love bourbon. Old Forrestor, 150th anniversary. Yes, please. I want to see how this thing is aged. What? How long is it aged? I don't know if they tell you. Is it just 12 months? I think it is. So it's not. So we'll see how much the barrel imparts. I think it's just 12 months. But my number 1, without a doubt, is the Bourbon County Double Barrel Toasted Barrel. 16%, highest ABV, aged for 24 months. I'm expecting this thing to be a chocolate-flavored bomb, hopefully, though, with some sweetness from that barrel of the Elijah Craig. I can't wait, but I want them all, and we'll review them all, and I can't wait. What about you? What are some of your favorites as we sound on here?
So I'm with you as far as being intrigued completely by the strawberry.
Yes.
I mean the strawberry, the cola.
Yes.
But honestly, that proprietor is coming in at number 3. If we can get our hands on it, that strawberry, vanilla, coconut combination all together, that's going to be my number 3. Number 2, I can't wait to try that Blanton's. We know what 12 years. I'm sorry, what 12 months is like. We know what 24 months is like.
18 months. Yep. Yeah.
What's that in the middle range going to give us?
That's a good point. Very good point.
I'm really excited. Blanton's is a great bourbon, somewhat overrated for just because of the price tag, but it's still a killer pour. But I can't wait to see what that tastes like. I think it's going to be it's going to be dynamite. And then honestly, Todd, I think I want to see if Old Forrestor can do it 2 years in a row. I really want to see what that 150 Stout is going to be. 150 barrels for the bourbon, and they took all of them, and now they're making beer out of it. That sounds like just God's gift to us both. So I can't wait to get our hands on that one. That's going to be really, really good.
And you know what? Look, everyone in the chat is saying what their favorites are. Yeah, if you're watching this in replay, put it below what the ones you're most excited about seeing. We will comment back. We're going to make this into a video after the live stream. I will say this. After we had this discussion, and some people have mentioned this, the cherry wood also does now intrigue me because it was my least. I had 7 on here. It was like my least favorite. Now I'm only thinking maybe that's not. I'm intrigued by that.
That leads to Justin's question. Which ones do you think will be nationwide? They usually have 4 or 5. I think the cherry wood and the Cola are going to be 1 and 2 as far as the 100%. Most successful. Yes. I think the toasted barrel will be right after that as number 3.
Possibly.
And I think Blanton's will be number 4.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hard to get. Obviously, you're not going to get the prop, and I think you're going to.
I don't think the 14 Stout will be unless they're up in production.
14 might be tough too, and you know what? Same with the 150. I think those are going to be tough. So
100%.
I would think that. I think it's going to be the Blantons. I think it's going to be the toasted barrel, and I think it's going to be the cherry wood and cola. Are the ones that are going to be the most accessible.
Agreed.
If I had to pick 4.
Yeah.
And look, they also sometimes they release 8. This isn't a huge year of like a ton of releases, so some of the things just didn't make it. So
I think 8's good. I mean, 8's enough. I think 8's enough. We'll have our hands full putting all these videos.
Is that an old show? 8 is enough.
8 is enough. Andy, we will hopefully, we will certainly, guys, we'll have a bunch of these up before the release date. So make sure you check back the week before Thanksgiving. We're lucky enough to get a few of these early from Goose Island.
And let's not plug what is going to be the most fun video in our lives we've ever cut.
We have a 11-year vertical from 2010 to 2020 Bourbon County Stout vertical video that will be coming out in early November.
Yep, every single variant from 2010 to
not variant, every single base.
Base from 2010 to 2020. Every variant I don't think we'd be able to stand.
I don't think we're going to be able to stand after this anyway. That's 11 Bourbon County Stouts.
11 Bourbon County Stouts, and we are going to rank all of them.
Yes.
And we're going to let you know what we think. So, but anyway, Todd, that's a wrap on on all the variants. A preview. Yes. I personally cannot wait for November to try these and bring them to you. But man, this 2021 should about to be a good year for BCS.
I think so. I'm excited about it. I think they've got some great things with the barrel and also some innovative ideas with ingredients. So let's see how they play out. So, and as always, we'll be back in November to bring them to you.
That's right.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.